I'm up here on Dartmoor again. I can't seem to keep away from the place. I love it. Plays a big part in my new book. And I'm up above Burrator Reservoir, which is behind me down there. Can't quite see it. Main water source for Plymouth. It's not the bit of the moor that I know quite as well actually as the eastern bit, but I'm getting to know it better. It's quite bleak. You see over there, that kind of reminds me of just a huge load of sand dunes, really enormous sand dunes. And this is one of the bits where wild animals come when they escape and make a new life on the moor. There's been lots of sightings of these wild animals over the years. Pumas have been sighted, and harder to identify beasts as well. Mythological animals have been seen up here. And last year there was a lynx up here. A real lynx escaped up onto the moor from Dartmoor Zoo. Dartmoor Zoo is slightly famous now because there was a film sort of made about it. There was a book written about the zoo, which was written by Benjamin Mee, and then it was adapted. It was made into a film by Cameron Crowe. What was strange about the film was that the zoo in the film was suddenly in California. Dartmoor Zoo definitely isn't in California. It's just on the edge of the village of Sparkwell, which isn't far from the 24-hour Lee Mill branch of Tesco. And that's where the lynx escaped from. And I thought, great, I'm going to go and find that lynx. So I came up to the moor to find the lynx and hadn't really... Well, what I packed for the day is I packed my walking boots, my sort of well-worn walking boots, which were well-worn last year and are considerably more so now. So I packed those, bottle of water, some crisps, old 1950s, I think it was, book of Dartmoor folk tales and ghosts. I hadn't really given a huge amount of consideration to the lynx's needs in my packing, but I did have a rucksack with me at the time. Old rucksack, which is gone now, mercifully gone actually. I never really liked it much, partly because it had this elastic compartment on the back, like this kind of twangy material, sort of where you'd keep a map or a bottle of water, detachable, and it kept getting caught on things like catching on a pedestrian bollard and sort of twanging me back up the high street I was walking along at the time. But what I thought with that is that, you know, if I found the lynx and it turned out to be an unusually playful lynx, I could coax it. I could remove this long bit of kind of elastic material and get the lynx to chase it. I thought that would be nice. So I set out up here, and what I realised is, if you're going after a lynx, if you want to catch a lynx, you've got to think like a lynx, think like a Carpathian lynx, as this one was. Flaviu, he was called. So in my lynx brain, I realised what I'd do if I was a lynx. I'd come up to Burrator Reservoir, I'd head northwest from the zoo. It was a place where I could have a big long drink, and then I'd carry on up here, kind of towards Princetown really, and you go via Raddick Hill, and there are lots and lots of sheep around there and cows and ponies, and I thought the lynx can have a little chase of the sheep and the cows and ponies, but not kill them because he's only a young lynx, he's not into that sort of thing yet, I thought. So I came over here and I started looking for the lynx. There's a lot of excitement about this lynx, and people talk a lot about rewilding here in Devon. I've noticed it much more than any part of the countryside in Britain I've lived before. Lived in Suffolk and Norfolk before this, and there was a fen up the road, like an authentic old fen, like, you know, not one that had been drained properly, like a re-flooded fen. I suppose quite a wild place for the Suffolk-Norfolk border. But you never got anyone saying, you know, brilliant, we'll release a hippo into it, or anything like that. But they do say that here in Devon all the time, that kind of thing. People get very, very excited about rewilding, and there was a lot of excitement with the lynx. People were thinking, you know, this is the beginning. This is like, there's a lynx, soon we'll have wolves, and we'll have our first bear for a while, and everything will be wild and fantastic. The opinions about the lynx, I found they were sort of split into three camps really. There was one camp that was saying, oh, you know, I hope the lynx is all right. I hope it gets back to the zoo okay, unharmed. And then there was another camp that was worried that the lynx would have gone in the other direction, gone towards Plymouth and eaten one of Plymouth's many school children. And then there's the third camp, which is the rewilding camp, the one let it go free. Let's see what happens next. Let it be free and eat up here and live and use the pads, the natural pads on its paws in winter when it's snowy right at the top of the moor. And I was kind of in that camp. So I came up here, did a long walk right up to this bit of the moor, tried to find the lynx, but I didn't succeed. I found a sheep with a limp. That was kind of my only evidence, and I didn't feel it was conclusive evidence, the sheep with the limp. And I also looked for lynx droppings, and that was difficult because I've never seen any lynx droppings, so didn't really know what I was looking for. And this journey took me. Eventually, I realised I was going near Crazywell Pool, which I'd read about a few times. Crazywell Pool, and I'd heard some legends about it. One of these forbidden places of Dartmoor, and that's actually where I am right now. I'm just gonna show you Crazywell Pool. The first legend that I heard about Crazywell Pool was that it was bottomless, or it had been thought bottomless in the old days. This has since been disproved. Originally, it was said that all the bell ropes from Walkhampton Church were tied together, and they still didn't reach the bottom. But then someone properly disproved it, maybe around 100 years ago, and they found it was 15 feet deep, which not that deep really. It's a bit disappointing that. And then the other one that I heard after that is if you stare into it and you see your reflection, that's not good. It means Crazywell Pool has stolen your soul, and from then on you're just a complete empty husk of a person, kind of like Piers Morgan. That's what you are for the rest of your life. But when I came up last time, I looked in and I didn't see my reflection, so I hope I'm okay. You can just hear behind me the wind's getting up a little bit. It's actually quite a calm day by the standards of Dartmoor, but the wind is just picking up. And this brings me to the third legend. So the third legend is that if you come up here towards dusk, which it is now, it's not far away, nightfall, only an hour or two. If you come up here towards dusk and you listen to the wind weaving through the grass, you will hear the wind speak the name in a ghostly fashion of the next person to die in the neighbourhood. Now that's not very specific, is it, really? Neighbourhood. That could mean anything. What does it mean? Is it defined by the boundaries of the parish council? Folklore is a little bit vague like that, which is kind of why I like it. I mean, it could just mean neighbourhood up here, could just mean, I don't know, within 500 yards of Crazywell Pool. You look around though, look. I mean, that doesn't leave many choices, does it? It's basically just me. So that's kind of a bit worrying today. Just coming up to the pool now. I'll show you the pool. There it is behind me, proper black Dartmoor still water. It's a flooded tin mine, that's what it is. It's a simple explanation for it, but that's a bit too prosaic and boring, isn't it? So a nice lichen blotched stone here, one of the lovely bits of stone that you get up here on the moor. And I'm just going to have a look now down into the pool, try not to slip. Actually, I reckon I could have had a swim in this. maybe like 3 or 4 weeks ago, it still would have been quite nice for swimming that. What do you reckon? But I'm just looking down into the pool and it's totally black, no reflection, so think I'm in the clear there. I'm just going to sit on the bank, there's some grass behind me, and just have a listen. Did you hear that? I don't know, that sounded a bit like Tom to me, but I think it might have been Tom with an H. I know you pronounce them the same, but there is a subtle difference. You know, like one of those pretentious Toms you get, like the guy from Radiohead. But yeah, I don't know. Well, the thing is, you're going to find out, because basically if I upload this onto YouTube, I'm not going to do it till I get home. I'll probably have a bath and then upload it onto YouTube at home. So if it's there, you'll know that I survived. Or maybe, I don't know, if there's a time limit on these things, it could mean I'm the next person to die in the neighbourhood. Well, that's actually true, of course, because there's no one else in the neighbourhood if this is it. But it could mean you know, in about 40 years from heart disease. It could mean anything. But basically, if this is on YouTube, you'll know that I survived the rest of the day. I survived the walk back, which is slightly perilous in itself. Could be worse. It's actually quite a clement day. But when I walked back over there last time, I walked into a peat bog, I don't know what it was. It was just one very localised, small, deep patch, and I lost about 2/3 of my leg in that. Managed to pull it out, but I'll have to make sure I don't go in that bit again. Maybe take a slightly different route, but it shouldn't be too hazardous. Hopefully I'll be okay. Anyway, I just wanted to show you that Crazywell Pool, just so you've got a picture of what it looks like, because it's in my book. It's in 21st Century Yokel, my new book, just briefly. A lot of things are in the book very briefly, because I like to move on. I've got a very short attention span, but if that interests you, I don't know, you might enjoy the book as well.